Greetings, greetings, greetings. Greetings, love magnets. Greetings, love warriors. Greetings, love icons. I'm so excited to be with y'all this evening. Give me a second to get my camera angles together. Yeah. There it is. What's going on, y'all? We have such a good topic tonight. Such a good topic tonight. You know, the title is Detach, Observe, and Nurture the Self. And you know, I easily could have called it So You Love Yourself. Now what? So you found self-love. Now what? I could have easily made that the title for tonight. Y'all, we're gonna hop right into it because I don't like to delay. I don't like to keep anybody waiting before we get to the juicy stuff. But we're gonna talk about a very deep subject, something that is, just a direct download for me recently as to how to communicate this. Before we get into it, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Pangea North Star. If you're new to my channel or just, not familiar with me, you may not know that I specialize in teaching about attracting love energy for the purposes of healing. Okay, attracting love energy for the purposes of healing. This is both romantic love and familial love, as well as friendship love. Love energy is for healing. So I teach about love energy and attracting love energy from the perspective of the universal law, the laws of attraction that state that we are always attracting a matching frequency. Okay, we are always attracting matching frequencies, whether we're aware of it or not. Okay, these universal principles are always at work, whether we are aware of them or not. Okay, so this is awesome. This is always something that we are doing even when we are not aware. Okay, greetings to everybody coming into the room. Greeting love magnets, greeting love warriors, greeting love icons, greetings, peaceful greetings. I'm so glad to see everybody here tonight. Love y'all. Let's get into it. Right now, we're talking about detaching and observing and then nurturing the self. Okay, this is super important because this is the next step beyond self-love. Okay, we always hear about people talking about self-love. Happy birthday, Jeremy. I see that. Happy birthday. You always hear people talking about self-love as though that's all there is. But you hear so much about self-love, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, because it is not easy. It's not easy to come by self-love or to identify when you are or are not loving yourself, because we're not taught enough about loving ourselves. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to talk about will be how to know when you're loving yourself. Okay, so as always, I've got some notes here because I want to make sure I'm getting this information to you in an organized manner, in a way that's easy to understand. Okay, so before we get started here, go ahead and like, subscribe, and set up your notifications so that you're never missing out on the information that we're sharing here. Okay, so like I said, all we hear about self-love, 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 and that's the way to change your life. But okay, say you love yourself, now what? To further evolve and become a better person, to further evolve and come into higher vibrations, to start getting results in your life that you want, right? I think we all want to know, how does this thing work? How does this universe work? We all want to have the keys to the universe. We all want to understand how to get the results in our life that we want, right? So, we're talking about how to attract the things into your life, the love into your life that you actually want. How to attract the love in the life that you want. Okay. In order to do that, you have to begin to, as people say, vibrate higher. But what in the world does that mean? People talk about these things in such broad terms, such vague terms. So we're going to be very, very specific tonight. Okay. Very specific. To further evolve, to reach your highest potential, we got to be able to detach, okay? The title of this live is Detach, Observe, and Nurture the Self. So the first thing we want to do is detach, okay? Detach, observe, and nurture the self. And as women, for women, it's a bit harder to do because we are less encouraged to do this. But I'm not at all saying this is not hard for men, because it is hard for men. And it doesn't mean that you're any less of a man. Let's go ahead and say that up front. You're not any less of a man if you also find this difficult. Okay. Because men are not encouraged to to become nurturing to others. Okay, they're not encouraged to do that in healthy ways. Okay, and I want to make this example. So as women are, taught that, being a mother means giving up everything about yourself and only focus on the kids, only focus on your family. Men, in order to be a good man and a good husband, men are also taught that. Men are also expected to put themselves on the back burner. But that is a very unhealthy way um, to approach relationships. Okay, everyone needs to become their own source of love and care. So that way, if you are loving yourself and caring for yourself and prioritizing yourself, when you give to others, you are giving from a place of wholeness. You're giving from a place of abundance rather than giving from a place of emptiness, which becomes very, very draining and causes you to begin to resent the people around you. Okay? Very, I mean, you have to give to yourself first. You have to prioritize yourself first. And we're going to talk about some ways in which we can do that. Okay. And as women, it's really hard because form follows function. Form follows function. Okay. So I'm going to talk about this tonight from the perspective of women, but there are some very good jewels in here for men as well. So guys, don't tune out. I'm gonna challenge you to tune in. Okay. So form follows function. And what I mean by that is that for women, we are carriers of the womb. Women become pregnant, obviously, not all women, but the function of the womb is to carry a child, right? So we naturally attach to and carry others, okay? We naturally attach and carry others, okay? So just the same way you attach a baby and carry that baby, we attach to people and we carry people. Okay. So we're talking about detaching, observing, and nurturing the self. So how does this work in terms of observing? We observe a growing fetus. We observe growing children. We observe the phases of relationship with our mate, right? So we are nurturing at every phase, right? So we need to become observing of our own selves. And we're going to talk about what does that mean and how to do that, okay? But typically we are observing at every phase, we're nurturing at every phase, and that is always externally focused, okay? And that is why I say those are the reasons that it's difficult for women. But again, this message is for everybody, okay? Now, a fetus is directly tapped into your blood supply. We continue to use this metaphor of a pregnant woman, right? A fetus is naturally tapped into your blood supply, okay, when you are pregnant with a baby. Okay. They are gathering, they are taking from your nutrition. They're tapped into your nutrition, your bones, your teeth, right? If a pregnant woman does not care for herself, that baby will begin to take calcium from her bones and her teeth. Okay. So that a pregnant woman can be left with weak bones and weak teeth after a pregnancy, after giving birth, if she does not take care of herself. Now, how does this relate to what we go through in life? How does this relate to spiritual evolution? Well, your family and your friends and your mate can tap into you that same way, into your life giving energy. They can tap into you spiritually and drain you if you allow that, if you are not taking care of yourself, if you are giving from an empty place, right? So the same way a pregnant woman needs to take prenatal vitamins, she needs to eat well, she needs to exercise, she needs to eat well, eat well. I'm gonna say that again, eat well. She has to provide nutrition for herself. In an ideal situation, she would already be doing that in preparation for a pregnancy, right? You need to be doing the same thing for yourself, feeding yourself spiritually. You need to be feeding yourself spiritually, right? Emotionally. Give to yourself. Take care of yourself. Maintain yourself so that what you are giving is not giving from an empty cup. Okay? So you must prioritize yourself. So for many of us, we're giving emotionally and spiritually. And for some, it's even that people are tapped into you physically and financially, right? Tapping into your financial resources, into your physical resources, right? That happens. That happens. Okay. But we have to be well prioritizing, right? Well maintaining ourselves. Okay. So being loyal to your friends and your family, to your mate, does not mean abandoning yourself. And we have to have a healthy balance there. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Being loyal to your friends, your family, or your mate is not equal to, is not tantamount to abandoning yourself. Okay? That is not necessary to abandon yourself in order to be loyal to your friends, your family, and your mate. Okay? Now, sometimes we have our lines crossed there, especially depending on what type of family you were raised in. Okay? So tend to yourself first. Tend to yourself first so that you're not giving to everyone else out of emptiness. You're giving to others out of abundance. In order to tend to your own wellness first, in order to tend to your own wellness first, you must know yourself. You must own who you are. Okay? You've got to know who you are and own who you are. Become familiar with your unique characteristics. What are the things that's unique about you? And the needs of your own unique self, right? And ask yourself, well, what does this mean for me in terms of relationship? Okay? Knowing yourself and asking yourself, what does this mean in terms of relationship? Okay, so an example, for example, are you Ariel or Medusa? Are you an Ariel or Medusa? Okay. Are you amazing, kind, amazingly kind, gracious, and giving? Or are you unbothered and terrifying? Personally, I'm proud to say I am both. I am both. Okay. And with that, it is story time. I'm going to tell you guys about the ways in which I am amazingly kind and gracious and giving, but also unbothered and terrifying at times, okay? But I own that and I understand what that means for me in terms of relationship, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples here. So the first thing we said that you need to do is detach, right? We said detach, observe, and nurture the self, right? Detach, observe, and nurture the self. Let's do this. Okay, so detach. Create spaces in your life that are just about you. Okay. Personally, I love having time by myself. I require time by myself. I have to have time alone. That's just part of my personality. For me, my children are adults and I'm solo poly. So it's easy for me to have time to myself. I don't have to fight to get time to myself. Okay. That is what I enjoy and that is what I need. Okay. And at this point, I've created that life for myself where it's easy for me to get the time that I need to myself, right? But for many people, it's not that easy. So detachment is about knowing, accepting, honoring, and making room for your unique aspects of self. Okay, make time for your unique aspects of self. And just in just a second, we're gonna get into a good story. It's going to explain about observing the self. But first, we're going to go through detaching. Okay, what does that mean? So make dedicated spaces in your home for the things that you do just for pure enjoyment. If you have things that you do, if you don't have things you do for just pure enjoyment and peace, please discover those things. And then I want you to make a space in your home that is dedicated to those things. It's very, very important because as we begin to value these things inwardly, it's important that our life on the outside mirrors that. Okay, if we truly value those things inwardly, then our life outwardly will mirror that. Okay, and we need to create these reflections in our life in order for purposes of manifesting what we want in our life. So as we begin to discover and we begin to enjoy and explore the things in our life that we do just for enjoyment and just for purposes of peace, we want to create dedicated spaces. Okay, so we're gonna create physical dedicated spaces as well as create time in your schedule. Okay, create time in your schedule for the things that you love to do just for enjoyment, just for purposes of peace. Okay? Create time in your schedule and don't compromise that for anybody. Don't compromise it for anybody. Don't give that time away. When somebody asks you, well, can you do XYZ during the time that you plan to do your favorite hobby, or even if you just plan to rest and put your feet up? Nope, I have plans during that time. Just like that. And it's not about being selfish or being mean, but you have to plan time for yourself. And it's not that easy. What I'm saying is simple, but it's not easy because there's lots of pressure in our lives to put other people first. And this doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. We all have pressures to put other people ahead of us because that's what we call being a good person, right? Putting other people ahead. No, put yourself at the head of your life. Prioritize yourself. Okay. So become serious about those times. Take it seriously. Okay. Also, detachment is becoming curious about yourself. Become curious about yourself. Notice the ways in which you think differently than others and explore those thoughts. Don't automatically dismiss those thoughts. Don't allow others to dismiss those thoughts, to be dismissive of your thoughts and your opinions, right? Take your own thoughts and desires seriously, even when they are different than other people around you. Don't wait for outside validation to start taking your thoughts and your desires seriously. Don't do that. Okay? You want to begin to take your thoughts seriously, explore those thoughts, stay with them, see where it leads you. Okay? It may lead you to new desires or desires that you've always had but have repressed and have been putting on the back burner. When you discover new desires, that is information about you. That is information about you. Okay? Now, here this wraps back around to self-love. Okay. This new information that you discover about yourself, right, is very key, is very important. And this new information should be prioritized when you are making decisions about your life. Your ability to factor in this new information about yourself, your ability to make decisions based on this new information about yourself, based on what will serve your highest good, is an excellent measure of where you are in terms of self love. Okay. Again, we hear about self love all the time, love yourself, self love. But, it's not just about making a hair appointment, making a nail appointment, going to buy yourself a new outfit, treating yourself to some spa treatment, or going on vacation, going to play, golf, or whatever the case may be. This is about making major decisions in your life, and even everyday decisions, based on what serves your highest good, not just what wins the approval of other people, not just what wins easy acceptance of other people, not appeasing people, not being a people pleaser, and doing what people around you expect you to do in the way they expect you to do it. That is not self love, right? That is people pleasing. Okay. So the ability to make decisions based on what serves your highest good is an excellent measure of your self love. Okay. Now, observation takes us to very good story time. Very good story time. So when I was younger, when I was about 19, and I was still at a place in my life where I was attracting people that wanted to snuff my light out, okay? That wanted to not only dim my shine, but literally take me out, okay? And that I was attracting that energy just because of the conditioning of the environment that I grew up in. I grew up in an environment that was like there was physical abuse and emotional abuse. Okay. Manipulation, energy vampiring, all of these type of things are happening. Okay. So when you come out of your parents' home, whatever home you were raised in, and you initially come out into the world on your own as an adult, you are still vibrating at the level of the home you were raised in, and you're attracting things that match that frequency. Okay. Now, so I was dating this guy that was matching that frequency. Okay. And I eventually married this guy. Okay. So about to tell you a crazy story. Keep in mind, I married him after this. It's just like, whew. When you're not healthy and when you're not loving yourself, you do things that don't make sense. But anyways, I was 19, um, dating someone that was not mentally, emotionally healthy, that was actually abusive at the time. This is when I began to realize that this was an abusive person. But abuse, again, was not new to me. So we're just like chilling one day. We weren't even in any way arguing. We're actually lying in bed. And he put a knife to my throat. He had a knife that was a pocket knife. It was like a Rambo knife, y'all. Like it was like no joke, like serrated edge. I'll never forget this knife. He puts the knife to my throat and very calmly says, I could kill you right now, you know? And I knew that statement was meant to scare me. But as I tend to do in emergency situations, I stay very calm. And I said, if you're going to kill me, kill me. Otherwise, stop effing up my Friday. Okay? That was how I responded to that situation. Now, normally, I am very kind, giving, and even submissive in my relationships. Okay? And that's the type of relationship he and I had. But in a situation like that, um, I was not not submissive. I was on the unbothered and terrifying side of myself, right? And that would be the side that I would give him in order to survive as things progressed between us, right? Now, what was happening in that moment was my survival instinct kicking in, okay? AKA my divine guidance, okay? Survival instinct slash divine guidance, okay? My divine guidance was showing me how to react or how not to react in order to survive that situation. Okay? So, what does that mean for me in terms of relationships? Looking back on it now as a full grown adult, right? Having had some experience and in being in that process of detaching, observing, and nurturing the self, what do I know about myself when I look at that situation and the happenings that day? Okay. I have a very strong survival instinct that I know, right? So, um, I know that though I know in relationships, I do enjoy being very, very catering and very submissive. And I've learned over the years that it's best for me to date someone for whom I have a high level of trust and respect. And in that case, it is easy. It is easy and it is safe to be catering and submissive, right? But I also know I have learned that I need to partner with someone who also respects my survival instinct, i.e., my divine guidance, right? I need to date someone, I need to marry someone who respects my survival instincts and my divine guidance and sees that as an asset to the both of us. Why? Because I will never go against my divine guidance to appease a relationship. I'm not going to do it because it has kept me alive, literally kept me alive. Also, it has kept me, made me financially prosperous and resilient as well. My survival instincts and my divine guidance have kept me alive physically, financially, spiritually, right? And so I wouldn't be able to be with someone in a relationship who expects me to go against that to appease them. I would need to be with someone who's going to say, "Hey, baby, we're about to make this big decision, or I'm about to make this big decision. What do you think? What does your gut say about this? I'm interested to know what you think." My gut instinct is so on point. It should be an asset to the team, not a point of contention. Okay? So that is an example of observing the self. When I observe myself and how I know I really am, right? The wonderful and fluffy parts and the not so wonderful and fluffy parts, all of that needs to be taken into consideration in my decision making and who I choose for partner and who I choose as friends, right? And the way you don't get to choose your family, but you do get to choose how you construct that relationship with your family members, right? You construct your relationship. You draw your boundaries and decide what you will and will not accept in your relationships with your families. Okay? So the things that you observe about yourself need to be taken into consideration. Okay? Now, if anybody has a question or comment, I will also take questions and comments momentarily. Okay? I will be answering those questions. So go ahead and ask questions if you have a question. Okay? Related to the topic, of course. All right. So, nurture. Okay, we talked about detaching. What does that mean? We talked about observing yourself and what that means. So now we're going to talk about nurturing the self, nurturing the self. Okay, these are all the next steps after discovering self love, your next steps to evolution. Okay, and we're talking about um, ways and reasons. Also, this is particularly hard for women, but it also very much applies to men. Very much applies to men. Okay, now nurture. It is your responsibility to ensure that your life as a whole is an environment that facilitates optimum growth and health for you in every way. Okay? I'm going to say that again. It's your responsibility to make sure that your life as a whole is an environment that facilitates optimum growth and health for you in every way. Okay? That is primarily your responsibility. Okay? Sure, others in your life will contribute to your growth and your health, but it is your responsibility to set that tone, i.e., create that vibration in your life so that you will then begin attracting matching energies. Okay? So remember, we said we are talking about attracting love energy using the laws of attraction. And the laws of attraction state that you are always attracting matching frequencies. These laws are at work whether you're aware of them or not. Okay? So, now, when you are creating that frequency, you're living in that higher vibration in your own life, you begin attracting matching frequencies with ease. Okay? So, it is up to you to create an environment in your life in which you are experiencing optimum health and growth. Okay? So, again, this takes us back to the metaphor of the womb. Place yourself into the womb. Place yourself into the womb. Give birth to yourself. Give birth to the greatest version of you. Okay? Yes, others must treat pregnant women with respect and honor and respect for the process that the body's going through, right? But it is up to her to eat well and to rest and to exercise and respect her own process in order for that baby to grow to optimum health, right? To grow to optimum health and to be as healthy and as big and strong as that baby can be. So you must respect your own process enough to create an environment of optimum health and growth for yourself. Okay? Now, so you have to do that process for yourself and you must take it seriously. Okay? You cannot give that process away and compromise that process for other people. You must lean in to your own divine guidance and don't place someone else's guidance over your own divine guidance. It is perfectly okay to get advice from someone, to confide in someone, to take into consideration what other people say, but you still have to tap into your own divine guidance in understanding what is best for you as an individual. Okay? Now, you nurture that. Nurture your own self, right? Spend time with the things that your divine guidance shows you cause you to become expansive. Things that make you feel expansive. As we talked about earlier, make time for those things. Don't compromise those things, right? Continue to feed and build upon those things. That is nurturing yourself. If you find, hey, I tried yoga and I love that. For some reason, it made me feel really good in my body and my spirit, and I saw that my mood was lifted all day. Stick with that. If you find that you enjoy journaling, and journaling makes you feel good, and you're able to go deep into yourself and exploring yourself and observing yourself and learning about yourself and understanding what's next for you, expressing your feelings in your journal. Journal is a lot like the word journey. They have the same root word, right? So it allows you to observe the progression of your journey by journaling. If you find that, hey, I really like when I journal, I love that I can go back 3 months and see what I was thinking about the same subject and see my growth, my new understandings about this subject since then. Nurture that, continue to do that. Sometimes we try something and it feels really great, but we don't then turn around and prioritize that. We just be like, oh, I had this great experience. And then you go right back to your life and prioritizing others. Okay, now, I always like to give the corresponding chakras that may be blocked. If you find the things that I am advising you to do difficult, if you find it to be difficult to do these things, we're going to talk about the chakras that may be blocked. We're going to talk about this block energy. Okay. So if you find it difficult to detach from others, this is going to take us into the root chakra. Um, and and then in a moment, let's also talk about what if you find it hard to detach yourself from your work. Okay. If you find it difficult to detach from others because you're worried that, people, that you cannot make it on your own. If you are worried that, hey, I just can't survive without other people, the ways in which I'm attached to other people. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's survival, like financial, or I won't survive emotionally. I just can't be alone. This is indicative of a root chakra blockage. Okay. A root chakra blockage. But just like I just can't imagine myself alone. I can't even envision myself alone. Okay, this is indicative of a root chakra blockage because our root chakra deals with our family of origin, the ways in which we were raised, the ways that we were taught love, the ways that we learned attachment and our attachment styles. Okay. So if you cannot detach, it is because you are too attached. Okay. If you cannot imagine yourself as detached, you cannot consider yourself without thinking of others. If there's always a we and you don't have an I, you don't have a self, you just have like a we. Everything is we, us, me, ours, everything about other people. What about you? Okay. Root chakra blockage. Okay. If it is because you are concerned with survival. Now, if it is just like I need other people to validate me, and I need the comfort of other people, the sense of like tribalism, um, I need to be in relationship with others, I need people to be pleased with me. That is more of, and it's very nuanced, but this is more of a sacral chakra blockage. Okay, sacral chakra blockage has to do with your attachment to other people, ancestry, tribalism, being attached to your ancestors and your tribe, which in, today's times would be your friends and your family, right? Not being able to see yourself outside of that. Okay. Our connections to others. This is having to do with your sacral chakra. Okay. Your sense of self, if it just does not exist, you need to work on your sense of yourself. This is a sacral chakra blockage. Okay. Now, if you cannot detach from your work and you're one of these people that's like, oh, I am my career, what I'm doing defines my identity, My accomplishments define my identity. You know, if someone asks you who you are, and you go, "Oh, well, I am a doctor, or I am a realtor," but you can't see yourself aside from your work and what you do. You do not have a sense of being that trumps your sense of your rate at which you are doing. Okay, I'm trying to use some words that kind of point to what I mean here, right? Then you would have a solar plexus chakra blockage. Okay, that is indicative of a solar plexus chakra blockage. Could you be suffering from all three? Absolutely, you could. Absolutely, you could. Okay, absolutely. All right. Do these energies overlap? Yes, they do. Okay. And for those who don't know, a chakra is a center of energy in your body. Okay. Each chakra deals with different issues, and those issues tend to overlap. It's not like just simple, black and white type of thing. Those issues overlap, those energies overlap, those centers overlap. Okay. Now, um, so I did give the corresponding chakras. Again, if there are questions, I welcome the questions and I appreciate the comments. I appreciate all the encouragement in the chat, right? And letting me know that this is resonating for you. Okay. Thank you. Now, what, um, when you find these things difficult to do, what is this telling you about yourself? We kind of already hit on that, right? So, I'm thinking, is there anything that I kind of missed out on? Well, let's talk about why is that a question that we always ask. First of all, when you notice there are certain things that are a pattern for you, right? Such as, oh, it's always difficult for me to be by myself. Always, say you're a person that just finds it difficult to be by yourself. You don't like to spend time by yourself. You always got to be in a relationship. You don't like to go anywhere without friends, things of that nature. What is this reflecting to you about yourself? Why do we ask these questions? The reason that we ask these questions is because things about ourselves are always being reflected to us either by the people or the circumstances in our lives, the patterns in our lives, right? So these things are always telling us something about ourselves. So we always want to ask, what is this showing me? What is this showing me? So, like I mentioned earlier, that when I was younger, I was in an abusive relationship, right? What was that telling me about myself? Well, as I stated, it was pointing toward the environment that I was in when I was growing up. So, chaos and not necessarily being safe was a comfort zone for me, as crazy as that is. But many people have that circumstance, that chaos is a comfort zone because of how they were raised, right? But this also means that there's something inside of you that is reflecting that same thing. Because if not, you wouldn't be attracting that into your life. You wouldn't be attracting situations and people that compromise your safety if you were safe for yourself. When you are attracting people who put you in danger, you are putting you in danger. You are compromising yourself in ways that's not good for you, in ways that are vital. Okay? We're not just talking about, oh, well, I'm going to give somebody a ride across town when I really don't feel like it, or I'm going to let somebody borrow $5. No, you are compromising yourself in ways that put your vitality as a human in danger, the vitality of your spirit in danger. So look at these things in your life and notice a pattern. If you notice that people are often mistreating you or betraying you, how are you mistreating yourself? How are you betraying yourself? Okay? Life is always reflecting us back to us. All of life is a mirror. Okay? So, ways to clear and or transmute these types of blockages that prevent you from detaching, observing, and nurturing yourself. A way to work on that is I'm going to give you some keys to a visualization. Okay, some keys to visualization. And visualization is another way to meditate. Many people think of meditation as simply, just being silent, making your mind go silent, making your mind go blank, stopping your thoughts, and just like kind of like zoning out. That is a form of meditation, but that's not the only form of meditation, and certainly not the easiest form of meditation for many people, because it's not always easy to stop your thoughts. But I say use your thoughts. Use your thoughts, okay? It's a great way to meditate, using your thoughts, your power to think, your power to imagine, okay? When you imagine that you are in a particular situation and allow yourself to begin to feel the emotions of that situation, you then are able to attract a matching vibration. Okay? According to the laws of attraction. So, picturing that whatever it is that you want to become the case is the case, and then allowing yourself to feel the emotion of that is how you begin to manifest what it is that you want to attract into your life. Okay? So, we're talking about having a problem with being able to detach, observe, and nurture the self. You want to do a visualization of seeing yourself as separate, seeing yourself as unattached, and not having anything in a situation in which you are happy and not having anything to do with anyone else. Let me give you an example. Very simple, very plain. It does not have to be very detailed. Literally, you can literally imagine yourself. And I would suggest imagine yourself from above. Okay? Imagine yourself from above. From about here, from about 12 inches above your head. Okay? And the reason why I'm suggesting that is because where your attention goes, your energy flows. Okay? Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So when you imagine yourself looking down at yourself from here, from this perspective. This area is the crown chakra area, which deals with divine guidance. Okay, and we've talked a lot about your divine guidance today. We're talking about leaning into your divine guidance, tuning into your divine guidance, having your divine guidance being the primary source of your decision making in your life, because your divine guidance is not going to steer you wrong. Okay, so I would suggest imagine yourself from just above yourself, looking down at yourself, from anywhere from 12 inches to 18 inches above your head, just above your head. Place your attention there. Feel your own presence there. Okay, and then look down at yourself. Okay, imagine yourself in more and more and more detail, from the top of your head down to the point where you can see your shoulders. Imagine yourself down to your elbows. Imagine yourself down to your hips. Imagine yourself down to your knees. Imagine yourself down to your feet. Just slowly picture yourself just standing or sitting alone. Okay? Now you can do this. Of course, you want to do this. I would advise you to do it while sitting upright so that you don't fall asleep if you're new to this. But you want to picture yourself from above. When you see yourself from above, then I want you to begin to notice all of the space around you. from 360 degrees all around yourself. Feel the space around yourself. Okay? Notice how there is no one there, no one touching you, no one that you are connected to, no one breathing for you. No one's heart is beating for you. Your heart is beating, pushing blood through your veins, right? You are sitting in your own energy, and just simply observe yourself that way. You don't have to do anything else. I'm keeping it simple. Okay? Then I want you to begin to feel how good that feels. Give gratitude that you are self-sustaining. Give gratitude that you do not require anyone else to breathe for you, anyone else's heart to beat for you. That's not something you have to negotiate for. And it's not even something you have to remember to do. You don't have to remember to breathe. You don't have to remember to make your heart beat, right? So allow yourself to become grateful for that. Allow yourself to feel gratitude. Allow yourself to feel the strength of that anonymity. Okay? So that is an awesome way just to begin to identify with yourself as an individual and your needs and your requirements on a very basic level. That is about survival. That is just about life itself, staying alive and sitting in your own energy. So you're imagining yourself from here, crown chakra, but you're thinking on things that pertain to your very survival, which is root chakra energy. Okay? So tapping into both energies create balance as well as life-sustaining energy. Okay, so it's rather all-encompassing. Okay, so this is a good example of something you can do. If you can do it for 5 minutes, if you can do it for 20 minutes, that would be amazing. But start where you are with what you can accomplish. Okay, but I want you to begin to work on these things: detachment, observation, and nurturing of the self. Continue that pattern. Continue those practices until you have built a life that serves your highest good. Okay? So I want to thank you guys. I don't see that we have any deep questions. Anybody asking for a reading? So I'm going to begin to close out. But I want you guys to remember, there is more after just self-love and acceptance. Okay? There's more after self-love. There's acceptance. You can break those two down. There's self-love and self-acceptance, right? Let's do things one step at a time. But there is more. We always hear about love yourself. But now what? Okay? We must have a sense of self. Many of us don't have a strong enough sense of self to even know whether or not we're truly loving ourselves or not. Okay? So detaching, owning, honoring, respecting who you are, observe things that are unique about you, and ask yourself, what does that mean for me in terms of relationship? This applies to romantic, familial, and friend relationships, right? Ask yourself, what does that mean? The unique things about me. What do I need to do? What changes do I need to make in my life? What circumstances do I need to create in my life in order to accommodate these things that I observe about myself? All right, in order to nurture these positive aspects of myself, right? Okay, you guys, I hope this was helpful. Please continue to drop hearts, drop comments, drop questions. Let me know if this resonated with you. And I appreciate those who were here and watching. And I appreciate those who are going to come here and watch in the future. Um, Continue to stay tapped in, to stay tuned in. Look for my event. I have an event, a live event coming up on November 29th. It is called The New Way to Attract Love. It is a 3-hour class. Greetings. Hey. Hey, Marilyn. Mrs. Zena. I have a 3-hour class on the 29th. The New Way to Attract Love. It is talking about attracting love energy from the perspective of the laws of attraction. We're going to break it down. We're going to get in there and we're going to explain this scientifically. We're going to explain it in very simple terms to give you an idea, to give you detailed ideas, to give you a plan, step-by-step plan to begin attracting the love and the life that you truly desire. Okay, so for those who attend that day, you will receive the replay. Okay, so you'll continue to have access to that information. Okay, we'll do mini readings as a part of that day. If you ask a question, I will give you a mini energy reading. Just tap into your energy and see exactly what's going on with you. I will, of course, ask you some questions and just let you know, what type of downloads am I receiving in answer to your question. Okay, so we're going to get specific. We're going to get personal. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. The event is listed on Eventbrite. So look at Eventbrite. The New Way to Attract Love is the name of the class. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. Okay. Thank you all so much. This has been a lovely, lovely session. Wonderful night. Thank you so much for all the encouragement and all the participation. And I will see y'all again next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Attracting Love Energy. Peace, love warriors. Good night.